Did I hear you right, Williams, that you guys are trick-or-treating on October 25th?
Yeah, that's right. They do it here in town. I
thought you didn't do that Beggar's Night garbage anymore.
It's not Beggar's Night. Bondurant does its own thing because everybody just gets drunk and they do it the Saturday
Halloween
night
is
before
on a
Halloween.
Friday this year. Why would you not just do it on Halloween?
They do it the Saturday night before Halloween.
Yeah. It's like built into the city code. Like you have to do it.
And what's crazy about it, what's bullshit, is all these kids from all over the goddamn place come to town. So I'm buying candy for half the metro.
That is BS, because then those kids are going to get multiple trick-or-treat days.
Which it's fine because my kids love it because it's such a big deal in our town. Like they love, like it's probably my kids' favorite day of the year.
Really?
Because it is a massive deal. Like there's just goblins and ghosts and.
Well, you know what's going to be happening during trick-or-treating this year? We're going to be celebrating an Iowa State and Iowa win.
I certainly hope so.
2:30
Teams playing at the same time.
Yep.
Man, I hope so. But yeah, that's why it pisses me off though. A guy who works every Saturday, you know, like it's tough. It's tough being the dad to pull it all together. We're gonna do our best.
Well,
we're gonna do our best.
We got a lot to get to in this program. 2 big games coming up this Saturday.
Let's go.
In the state of Iowa. 2 Guys starts now.
We know that carrying your groceries out to your car seems a bit old school. That saying hello and asking about your day feels like a thing of the past. Being best at fresh, it's not just a fad. Serving high-quality meat at affordable prices? Talk about a throwback. But at Fareway, that's kind of our thing. Because some things never go out of style. Friendly at Fareway. It's more than just a name.
Disney on Ice presents Frozen and Encanto. Celebrate the power of love. Y Familia. Coming to Casey's Center November 27th through 30th. Tickets on sale now. Visit DisneyOnIce.com today.
Hey, Hawkeye fans, Big Ten fans, and Iowans everywhere. This is Chad Leistico from Legends and Listeners.
And this is Scott Docterman. Join us as we discuss all things Iowa and the Big Ten every Thursday, only here on Iowa Everywhere.
Chris Williams, Chris Hassel, 2 Chris's, 1 network. This is 2 Guys. Presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery. From the Channel Seed Studios, this is 2 Guys. Exclusively on Iowa Everywhere.
All right, Jeff is down there in Texas. He says he's pouring his second Steeple Ridge right now. He's Central Time Zone.
Wow, Van Woke's got some Steeple, too.
Let's go. You know what? I got the trifecta tonight.
Look at this guy.
Little carbless, little pseudo-sue.
Van Winkle's going to be so
partners
drunk.
like
Anyone else joining me? Let's go. Let's do it. The trifecta. The 2 Guys trifecta.
You're going to be so drunk by the end of this show.
I got a lot to say.
He's got a lot on his mind. Next year, Iowa State better be at least 11-1, or Van Winkle is going to riot the streets of Ames.
Has that gotten back to the coaching staff yet?
Well, Van Woke's the king of protests, you know, so.
It probably has. They watch. Welcome to the show. We are presented, as always, by Fareway Meat and Grocery. Not this weekend, but a week from Saturday will be 3rd Annual Festival of Meats at my camper, where if it didn't have a mother, we don't eat it. We are presented, as always, by our friends at Channel Seed in the Channel Seed Studios. Hope you guys are wrapping up the wonderful harvest, having breakfast with some of the guys from Channel Seed coming up tomorrow morning. Looking forward to that. A lot to get to. Hassel's got his early bedtime tonight, so we got to rush through this thing. What?
This
you gave
is
me a
late for
hard
me.
out.
This is late for me. I want to try to wrap this son of a bitch up by 9:15 Eastern, please. This is actually...
What do you have to get to, honestly? What do you have to get to?
To be honest, this was a mandate from the wife
Why?
so that we can watch the final episode of The Dictator. I'm sorry, not The Dictator.
The Dictator.
No, The Diplomat. The Dictator is a
big
movie.
difference right there.
Yeah.
I hate this bastard.
Have you seen The Dictator, the movie?
I don't watch movies.
It's Sacha Baron Cohen.
Who's that?
Oh, my God.
Honestly,
Are you
don't
It's
know.
serious?
a Borat.
It's the same type of thing as Borat. It's the same actor.
My wife.
He plays a dictator. Oh my God, Williams, you're unreal, man.
I was a dictator for Halloween once.
I had a buddy.
You
I
get
can't
the
remember
joke?
if I've told this story.
Put a tater on my. Get it?
You did not do that.
College.
You put what kind of a tater? Like a potato
Yeah.
on your cock?
Cut like a massive hole in it because it's got to be really big. Wrapped it around.
Like, were you wearing pants?
Yeah.
The comment section on the Wednesday night. We got to move on. We got too much to get to because Hassel's got a date with his wife.
YouTube like changed it on. So like, it used to tell us people's names. Now it just gives us your like tag, your @tag. So now
Cuck Norris 69 is on fire.
God,
I wasn't
that's an
gonna say it.
all-timer. He may have just replaced Circle Herc for greatest name. Cuck Norris.
Turd Ferguson up there too.
God, we got to move on to the games. Well, it sounds like Iowa State may have its kicker back. That's a good thing.
Jesus, I hope he's okay. Like, I hope he comes back and...
Well, but then Bloom told me today that he's not going to be doing kickoffs.
You know what? Fine. I don't care. As long as he can make a 35, 40-yard field goal. That's all you should want at this point.
I actually thought Travis Hines over at the Des Moines Register asked a good question. I like the way he framed it to Matt Campbell this week, where they're talking about the bye and, you know, what do you think went wrong? And I've watched a lot of high school football this year because, you know, my guy Groner, I'm always watching the Clarinda has a kicker that's better than what Iowa State has been trotting out there for what it's worth. So it's a little bit different. But this was a good question. Hines asked Matt Campbell, is it kind of like you've been playing high school football? Because a lot of high schools don't have real kickers.
Right.
This is what Campbell had to say.
When you're across the 50 with guys trying to do, like, did it feel like you're having to make a decision like you're playing high school football with, like, when you don't have a kicker? Like, you're not playing Big 12 football at that point, to some degree, obviously.
It's certainly a unique challenge, right? So I appreciate the question, and it's unique. But again, and as I told our kids, that is why they call you team, right? This is a team sport. And, you know, the reality of it is we handled it against Arizona. We probably didn't handle it as well as we needed to in those other games. And again, those are things that is a unique challenge to it. And so there's nothing you can do about it other than, man, pick it up. We got to be, those are things that, some of those things are self-inflicted though, like I said, and man, those are things we have to clean up.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's huge. If Cronardi is back, we're probably going to get the availability report during this show, I would guess. It sounds like he's probable. It sounds on the other end, and this could be very damning, if Dominic Orange is truly questionable. He has not practiced this week, according to Matt Campbell, and you're going up against one of the best rushing attacks in college football. That's where this game scares me, Chris. I think Iowa State gets BYU in the best possible spot coming off of the Holy War, sandwiched in with that Texas Tech game and a bye. They've got to go a couple of time zones. This is a good spot for Iowa State, but I'm still not confident enough, with the rush defense to just go into this game like expecting a win. That's where I sit right now.
Yeah, if Orange is out or limited, and that opens it up so much more for a team that has a rushing quarterback, like a power rushing quarterback that can go right up the middle like Bear Bachmeier does. I think Iowa State's going to give up points. I think this is, again, going to come down to whether or not Rocco Becht can raise this offense to the level that it needs to be at to win a game like this. They've had the week off. Recalibrate. Get Carson Hansen back. You're starting to get a lot healthier there. You now know, like, hey, look, if shit hits the fan, we can kick a field goal if Conrarty's going to play.
And Matt did in his press conference, I don't know if you watched the whole thing, he acknowledged that he thought that they got – he said, I think it was Alex Bussey from 24/7 asked about the stat that I gave you guys a couple weeks ago about 6 of 28 on third down. And Matt thought that because – in their minds, they were playing 4-down territory. It changed their play calls a little bit. He kind of...
I don't know. How could it not? It needs to. It needed to. And I think it could have gone in a direction where it helped Iowa State, because when you have that extra down to play with and your offense is going good, I think that could have been a good thing. The problem is it coincided with the offense taking a step back.
Yeah. Well, this is weird because, I was getting texts from some of our friends in Vegas all week long, and they are hammering Iowa State this week.
It's the perfect spot on paper for Iowa State to win this game. BYU keeps winning these one-possession games. How good are they really? I don't know. They keep squeaking by. Iowa State now is positioned here right between their huge rivalry game, the Holy War, and their next game against Utah, which comes after a bye. Meantime, Iowa State is coming off of a bye and coming off their two worst games of the season, and they are in desperate need of a victory. They're at home. You get an earlier kick, 2:30 Eastern time. It just all sets up on paper as a game where this highly ranked, unbeaten team finally takes an L.
They played 2 weeks ago, went into overtime. Last week was their big rivalry game, obviously, in the Holy War. And then, you get a rested Iowa State team with a 2:30 kick. It's going to be perfect. It's completely sold out. I'm going to pick Iowa State to win it, but I'm not. It's so weird because – if you go back to the Colorado game, what did we talk about? It was the offense that let them down. But the offense is still moving the football. They just haven't been able to execute in key situations. I'm banking on an offensive, I don't know if I'll say explosion, because I think that BYU will do a lot to take time off the clock. I think they'll have a lot of long drives. It's going to be a lot like playing Iowa in that sense. So I don't know if Iowa State's putting, 30 points on the board. But I'm going to trust in Rocco Becht. I'm going to trust that rhythm gets back. Huge to have Carson Hansen back. I got a stat for you. I want to give it to my guy, Jackson Pence, who writes for us at Cyclone Fanatic, and he came up with this stat. This is an incredible statistic that I never would have guessed, okay? So Carson Hansen has missed 6 games over the last 2 seasons. So he's played in 21 games. This is their starting running back. Iowa State is 2-4 without Hansen. They are 13-1 with him. Their one loss was to Texas Tech last year in the Big 12 championship. I don't know, but it's
Arizona
worth mentioning.
State in the Big 12.
Arizona State, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah.
That is interesting. And sometimes a guy's just a winner.
Excuse me, it was Texas Tech home game last year is the one that he was out of. My apologies.
Wait, that's that he was out of.
They
gotcha.
lost.
Okay.
That was the one loss when Carson Hansen was in the lineup. So again, I know it impacted him against Colorado because Sama's just not the guy on a 3rd and 1 to, he's going to bounce it outside and do all that crap.
Yeah.
Like that. I know what impacted him there. Thought I would present it to everybody. Maybe that's a bigger deal than we thought. But I have Iowa State winning this game in the mid-20s. Give me what does Iowa State got to do to get into the Wyckoff comfort zone for you, buddy?
You want to get comfortable?
I want to.
Kick back and relax. Two guys have entered the Wyckoff Heating and Cooling comfort zone.
They cut you off right as you're about to say, I want you to sit on it.
I want to get comfortable, baby.
Here you go. You're going to get comfortable, okay? You're finally back home. You're finally getting a little bit more healthy. It's finally time to get the offense in gear. All right? I mean, Rocco Becht with some subpar games, and he was really taking it hard. The last time we heard from him, he was emotional after the second straight defeat. This is the time to save this season, right? Because if you lose this game, man, you've already lost Van Woke. You might lose more rational fans as well if you have a 3-game losing skid. And I know that the injuries have stacked up, and they're not the team that we thought that they could have been fully healthy. But I'm not sure that you're ever going to be in better position for a big-time win against an unbeaten team in late October than you are right now.
Can't say that I disagree. What's the weather going to be like, Van Winkle? Chief meteorologist Matt Van Winkle will go into the carbless weather report.
It's going to be a nice day in Ames. 58
That's
degrees, cloudy, southeast winds 10 miles per hour. Should be a beautiful day in central
What about in Iowa City? Let's transition over to the Hawks.
Pretty much the same. 59 degrees, 230 kick. You're looking at very similar weather to crack a carbless in the tailgate lots.
I'll lead you into the Minnesota-Iowa game with my Wyckoff comfort zone because I think it's also we're going to get into this tweet that who Fornelli put out the tweet about Gronowski. Is that who it was?
Depends on which one you're talking about, but if you're talking about the rushing touchdowns compared to passing touchdowns, it was Tom Fornelli. Yes.
Yeah, okay, so this kind of goes into my Wyckoff comfort zone for Iowa where so often in this, not just this show, but like the dialogue around Iowa football is making it more fun, making it, offensive progress, all that stuff. All that is true. You can Big Ten West this thing. Minnesota's a team that still kind of plays that way, where Iowa used to feast off of these teams. Like, just play the sound Hawkeye football on Saturday. Like, if people are mocking Gronowski for not having any throwing touch, who gives a shit? Like, you don't need to do that against Minnesota. If Iowa goes out and plays sound turnover-free football, good special teams, defense, like, you're going to beat Minnesota. The way you don't do that is if you jack around and you give PJ Fleck's team, some of the, give them some juice by turning the football over, that type of thing. But I just think that pound for pound, Iowa's just better than them. And there's nothing flashy about Minnesota. They're kind of like what Iowa's always been, and Iowa's just better than that. So don't worry about that other crap. Save that for the USC game coming up.
The problem is, and I'm not saying I disagree, the problem is that's exactly the way Minnesota is going to try to win this game. Minnesota is looking to win in the very same fashion. They're looking to win the same way they did 2 years ago in a 12-10 game at Kinnick Stadium, where they just keep it close, they don't make mistakes, they play a field position game, and they end up winning in the end. But I'm with you in that if it gets into a game like that, Iowa's the better team. Iowa is the more physical team.
Yes.
Iowa is at home. Kirk Ferentz has owned PJ Fleck. And I think that they will be able to win this game unless they do something crazy. Like, we're not going to get a 66-yard field goal attempt. We know that for sure. But we don't need Gronowski flinging it around. I agree. Because
that's how you lose this game, in my opinion.
turning the ball over. If you do that, you can lose the game. If you don't lose the turnover battle, I don't see any way that you lose this game. You reference the tweet from Tom Fornelli. If Van Woke, you can pull that up one more time. And Iowa fans were all over him. He said Iowa's Mark Gronowski has not thrown a TD pass since September 13th against UMass. In Big Ten play, he has 0 passing touchdowns and 7 rushing touchdowns. Now, Iowa fans took that as a slight. And Tom has been known to, be a little surly sometimes toward the Hawkeyes. He's an Illini fan. But I don't think that that's really what he was saying. I think he was pointing out that he hadn't thrown a touchdown pass since the UMass game, but he is running it all over the place. And this is far better than anything we ever saw out of the past several quarterbacks, the first 4 games of the Big Ten season. So Gronowski, even though he doesn't have a passing touchdown in Big Ten play, has 7 rushing touchdowns in the first 4 games. Let's go back to last year. Cade McNamara, Tyler Sullivan. They both played the first 4 games. They accounted for a grand total of 4 touchdowns. 2 years ago, Cade McNamara, Deacon Hill, first 4 games of Big Ten play, 2 total touchdowns. 3 years ago, Spencer Petras, through 4 games in the Big Ten, 1 total touchdown. Gronowski has 7. It doesn't matter if it's in the air or on the ground. He has 7 touchdowns, and he is outplaying by quite a bit all those quarterbacks that came ahead of him in recent Kirk Ferentz era in Iowa football.
And it's been complimentary since they started winning too, right? The defense is coming up in advantageous spots. They haven't been awesome on special teams, but they're better. I think they've gotten better as the year goes on. And that's just how you kind of have to do it. Iowa State's the same way. If it's not complimentary of one another, you're probably not going to have a great season in any of these spots. The thing about Gronowski that I just like, he just has that moxie to him. It's just, I don't know. I don't think he's great. I definitely don't think he's going to be in the NFL. I don't know where all that stuff came from.
He's not an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I don't.
Can I correct? By the way, I don't know why you didn't. Brendan Sullivan, not Tyler Sullivan. I keep doing that because I work with a Tyler Sullivan.
Oh, I didn't even notice it. I apologize.
Okay.
I just know him as Sullivan. That's Sullivan.
Sully.
Guy. How's Labus doing, by the way? Have we checked in on Labus for a while? Is he still a Chippewa?
I don't know.
I reckon he's a Chippewa.
I'm actually kind of glad we've been able to move past that. It was kind of sad last year watching Deacon Hill at Utah Valley, watching Labus at Central Michigan. Let him be. Oh, look at Labus putting up some numbers. 5 touchdowns, only 1 interception so far this season for the Chips.
I might wear these Deacon Hill swim trunks to Fareway Meat and Grocery Festival of Meats next week. What do you think about that?
You might be cold.
Are you still coming? You coming?
I'm not coming.
You suck, dude.
Those are black shorts. That reminds me, Iowa is wearing all black for the blackout.
I think Iowa State's going to have a blackout next week, too. They haven't announced it, but...
You know what I'm happy about?
What are you happy about?
I'm happy that they're still going through with the blackout, even though it's not a night game, because I think the blackout at night is a total waste. I've said this before.
Oh, yeah, because it's too black.
You can't see any goddamn thing. Sorry for cursing. I'm sorry.
You seem really on edge. Is this all because of your wife putting that time constraint on us?
Maybe.
Honestly, you seem different. I can say anything to you, right?
Yeah.
You seem different tonight.
Do I?
Yeah, you really do. Do you agree with me, Van Woke? Hassel seems a little on edge.
A little bit.
God damn it, Kristen.
I don't feel any different. I'm worried that they're going to go the seltzer from last week.
Oh, seltzer?
Same one. I'm still sipping on it. A little lime, Mason Perrier or Perrier.
A little gin in there.
Sipping on gin and juice.
Well, 2 weeks ago when I had an old fashioned, I came out here thinking I was going to be having a cocktail with you guys, and you guys just sober as a church mouse. So now I'm just a sparkling seltzer man.
Well, let's get drunk.
I'm worried they're going to wear all black pants without any kind of gold stripe, and I don't like that look. A lot of fans are calling for it. They did it like 4 or 5 years ago against Minnesota, I think. I think it looks bad. I'm not a fan of the all-black uniforms, but whatever. Just please put a little yellow in there. Don't make it like Iowa State.
On
I think it's time to pour a drink, shall we? Poor choices. All right, this is where every week, courtesy of our friends at Toppling Goliath Brewing,
so good. I forgot
we can
how
look
great
at
this stuff is.
everything that we did wrong. And I had one of the worst takes.
Wait, it has to be our own, like something we did wrong? I thought it was just a poor choice by
it could be
anybody or anything. If
it kind of depends on just how you interpret it. Like me, I'm a very self-deprecating human.
Well,
look
I
at
am
this
too, but I didn't make any poor choices last week.
Look at this horrible take I had last week on the CW pod. The Tech thing, I think they are by far the best team in the Big 12. I don't think that I really don't. If I had, I probably won't bet on this game. If I had to, I would take them to cover against Arizona State. I'm not sure they'll have a game in single digits the rest of the year. I'm sorry, Cody Campbell.
And then they lost to Arizona State.
The absolute kiss of death that I delivered to Texas Tech last week. That was a very poor choice, courtesy of our friends at Toppling Goliath.
I went in a somewhat different direction because I feel like I haven't made any poor choices over the last week.
Everything you've done is right.
I wouldn't say that, but I don't know if anything was poor. But I did make a poor choice in a podcast that I tried listening to. I sometimes I'll search out podcasts from opposing teams, that Iowa or Iowa State might be playing. And so I searched out a Minnesota Golden Gopher podcast, and I came across this one and actually listened to it.
October 20th, the Minnesota Gophers are returning to Iowa's Kinnick Stadium, a place they finally conquered last year after a tough 10-game losing streak. Their win in 2023 held special significance, breaking a long dry spell in one of college football's most intimidating venues. Head coach PJ Fleck has said he thinks Kinnick is easily one of the hardest places to play in the country.
PJ.
So up until then, I'm like, is that a robot? And then I was like, oh, yeah, that totally is.
I've noticed this with other teams as well. A couple of weeks ago, I came across one. I don't know if it was, I think it might have been for Wisconsin. And they're these like quote unquote podcasts, and they're 2 minutes. And it's clear that it's all AI. And oftentimes they're wrong. This podcast kept saying that Iowa lost to Minnesota last year. And Minnesota won last year in 2023. It was 2 years ago, obviously. Iowa won the game last year at Minnesota. But PJ Fleck, since they put periods after P and after J, it thought that was the end of the sentence.
Mm-hmm.
P, J, Fleck.
He said he thinks Kinnick is easily in venues. Head coach PJ Fleck has said he thinks Kinnick is easily one of.
Fleck has said. What
do
are
you
we
know that
doing with this AI crap?
There's a lot of companies that are doing this with the written word already, especially with like game recaps and stuff like that. It's scary.
Oh yeah, they've been doing it for years.
Yeah, that's why it
was
a
couple
lot of
years
big media
ago.
companies that will be diving into what you just showed. You just watch.
A couple of years ago, there was some phrase that kept showing up in like every other sports article about a game. And obviously they found out that these recaps were being written by AI. It was something like something of the third kind. They were using this like ridiculous saying, but they were using it in every single recap for every game they were writing about.
Yeah, I mean, as the company I was thinking of, Herky the Cat, Sports Illustrated does a lot of that now. Like just in the stuff that the problem is too. So what they do, I don't know about Sports Illustrated, but what a lot of these companies do, Chris, is they, instead of paying writers, they just pay SEO. So it just pops up in your algorithm all the time.
What pops up?
Their articles and stuff. And like this podcast probably, I don't know, the podcasting industry is a little bit different, but you can go on like Facebook and like scroll through it. I'm sure Twitter has the same thing where they're putting so much money into their paid like searches for it to just pop up in your algorithm that they can afford to do that because they're not paying their workers. They don't have any workers. They're just paying these computers to crank it out. The other crazy thing about it is that a lot of these poor media companies are now selling out to the AI companies because they don't have any money, and they're just giving away their libraries from the last 30 years since we've had the internet. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's a terrifying world.
Well, it was a poor choice by me. I should have never tried to listen to that.
Oh, we do have that Flex sound. I did get this pulled.
What are you talking
Fleck
about?
loving up on that AI that robot was talking about.
Going to Kinnick?
Yeah. Let's hear from PJ Fleck.
Yeah, this is for courtesy Will Hall of Care 11, former Des Moines sportscaster.
Yeah, that's
right.
Love Will, great guy.
It's incredibly loud. It's hostile. It's got great tradition. Their fans, they really care about Hawkeye football. It's a unique place to play, that's for sure. And so, somebody asked me this a long time ago. And listen, I have no problem. I'm not one of those head coaches that doesn't give anybody credit. Somebody asked me a long time ago, what's the hardest place to play? You got to take where you're at out of it, right? So where's the hardest place to play? And I've always told them Kinnick. And this goes way back, even before Western Michigan. When I was a player at Northern Illinois, I happened to play against Iowa all the time. But I remember a game when I was at Ohio State as a GA. We were number one in the country and went into Kinnick at night. And that was one of the most challenging environments that I watched. A national championship game team who finished, was number one all year and finished two, go into that stadium. And that was the one, I thought, game on the road we struggled with. And the crowd, the atmosphere, and then you throw the football team of Iowa in there, who never beats themselves, who's really disciplined, loves playing the game. It seems like they just plug and replace. I mean, same body type, same person, same effort, same house, same system, and they win.
Does that make you like PJ Fleck?
I've never disliked the guy.
I think he's grown up a lot.
He's been humbled. Think he's always kind of on. And people think that it's an act. I don't think it's an act.
No.
It's a little bit too much at times, but I don't think it's an act.
Matt Rule's an act. My opinion.
I thought you loved Matt Rule.
I think he's a good coach. I don't really care for his personality. That's fair, right?
Sure. The game he was referencing, by the way, when he was at Ohio State, is that game that College Game Day was there for in 2006. And it didn't seem like Ohio State had that big of a problem with Kinnick Stadium because they were able to roll in that game. But that was as on as Kinnick Stadium has ever been from the start. Like that, when you think of Kinnick Stadium, that's the game you think of. Everybody's in gold. Iowa was top 15. Ohio State comes in, slaps them around, and the season's over. They finished 2-6 in the Big Ten.
Matt, will you do me a favor too? Because I think that the row the boat thing, he did it a lot, but it has a really cool meaning. Didn't he have a son pass away or something?
Yeah.
And he's done it to honor it.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know if you know his background. The whole row the boat thing that's what it was based off of, and he's done it to honor his son. I want to make sure I'm saying that right because that's obviously a really big statement. But yeah, I think Fleck's just one of those guys who just has a crap ton of energy, and it can be a lot for a lot of different people if they don't particularly fit that mold.
I don't think that the Iowa staff likes him that much from everything I've seen and heard over the years.
Him and Campbell were huge rivals in the MAC. I don't know if they have like a problem with each other now, but when PJ was at Western Michigan and Matt was at Toledo, that was like a huge. I talked to a guy who was on Campbell's first staff who was on Fleck's staff at Western Michigan. He couldn't take it. But again, it's kind of like Harbaugh, right? Like either really, really love or appreciate that guy, but he rubs most people the wrong way. And kind of how Steve in the comment, can we please not humanize PJ Fleck? Like, I'm just saying, like, I saw, like, Game Day or somebody did a doc on him, and it made me appreciate him a lot more because of where that came from. So.
Yeah, Van Winks puts in the chat that it was from his infant son, Colt, who passed away back in 2011. I think that Minnesota thinks that this is a rivalry a lot more than Iowa does. Like, Iowa just always seems to win this game. It's a cool trophy, yes. But I don't think it's much of a rivalry. It's not the rivalry that Minnesota tries to make it, especially Minnesota fans. And I totally agree with what Pat Anger said on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo earlier this week.
You know, when I played, I think my senior year or my junior year, we won like 55-0, then we won 17-0. So I don't know. To me, it's like not much of a rivalry. I don't know if they ever scored on me, to be honest with you, when I started. You know, but that's a whole different story. So I don't know. We'll see. I think they want it to be a rivalry, and I think that you know, if we continue to win, it's not going to be.
They don't win. I mean, their only win in the last 10 meetings was because of the bullshit call when Cooper DeJean returned that punt for what would have been a game-winning touchdown. That's the only win that Minnesota's had in the last.
And then
10.
the last one was what year?
The last what?
2014. Yeah.
You mean before 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Which was before Fleck.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Iowa, Wisconsin was for a while, where Wisconsin was playing Iowa football, but just doing it at a much higher level. That's how Iowa is to Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Like Minnesota does a lot of the same or tries to do a lot of the same things that Iowa does, but Iowa does it so much better.
Minnesota's such a weird sports market too, because they are just so irrelevant up there. Like, I know they have fans, but it's not like here.
Well, they have so many more options.
Yeah, like it is Vikings, Wild, then you might get the Timberwolves. Like, they are fourth
you got
or
a
fifth.
WNBA team there
the
too.
Twins, you know. Like, it's just a different market. I spent a lot of time up there with the Vikings in the past, and like they're just so barely even on the radar that they don't. I would guess they don't have like much of a social media presence when it comes to troll fans and stuff like that. So
that was the only podcast I could find all week on.
That's my point. They probably
the Gophers was the AI pod.
Well, they can't do what we're doing here because it's all Vikings. Like, if you're not just spending time on the Vikings, you can't even survive up there.
Right.
All right. Want to thank our friends, the Kuberski brothers. Hey, they actually came and we got little fall fertilizer this week. They are making sure that my soil is very, very pure.
They soiled your yard?
Oh, yeah. That best yard I've ever had was this year. Now, the climate had a lot to do with it. We had a great year for growth, but they came and did my fall fertilizer. Guys, you could probably got one more week if you want to do your fall aeration. Give our friends, the Kuberski Brothers, go to KuberskiBrothers.com and give them a call. Also want to thank our friends over at Freedom Tire. Right now, they got a sale going on. They've got really good rebates. You can get a $100 instant rebate on a set of 4 Goodyears or Cooper tires, a $50 rebate on Kelly tires. Good time to do that with the winter roads coming around the corner. with your locations in Altoona, Ames, Des Moines, West Des Moines, and Urbandale. All right, let's do it. Let's get into our top. What?
We didn't even predict the game yet.
Oh.
God.
Well, what do you got, soldier?
I will say, I was happy to see all the Iowa Everywhere picks this week from Randy Peterson's column. And there's not a clean sweep on either side.
Thank God.
A couple people picked BYU, including Van Woke. Look at him. See, he's already disappointed
You're
in the
such a
season.
troll towards Iowa State, Van Woke.
I've
Iowa
never
winning.
had more hate from Iowa fans in the last 2 weeks. I don't even know what I did.
Wait, Iowa or Iowa State? Because Iowa State fans don't like you either.
No, more Iowa hate. I mean, Iowa State was on the bye, but
I have Iowa winning 24-17, and I have Iowa State winning 24-20.
I think somebody picked Minnesota. Did they not?
Brind, I think, did. I think he did it to spite Andrew Downs.
Okay. Because Downs also picked BYU. So not everybody on Iowa. I am on Iowa. I think I'm having a tough time with the spread. Like
I would take the points.
God. I can see Iowa just bulldozing over this team, just running all over this team. Minnesota cannot run the ball. And so if they can get to that quarterback, I feel like it could get potentially a little sideways at Kinnick Stadium. But my prediction is 27-17 Hawkeyes.
Okay, so you have an Iowa cover. I have a Minnesota cover.
And I've got Iowa State covering against BYU.
What did you put for the final? Just curious of how high of scoring. I had 24-20 Iowa State.
31-20 Iowa State. Come on, Rocco. It's time. It's time.
It's time for our game day Men's Health top 3 games of the week. Let's go.
Get up. It's game day. Chris Williams and Chris Hassel take a look at this week's best games. Powered by Game Day Men's Health.
Did it again, by the way, last weekend at that Lainey Wilson concert. There's so many dads taking their daughters. And I was standing in this long merchandise line waiting to buy the girls a T-shirt. And I was sizing up if I had more or less testosterone than all these other men. They've ruined
what's
me.
wrong with you?
Well, nothing's
Don't
wrong
judge.
with me.
Do not judge people.
Whoa. Here comes Van Woke. You're getting a little too teed up for his liking.
Find your maximal self with Game Day Men's Health. Shout out to all my friends over at the Ankeny location, West Des Moines. Naperville, Illinois. We just opened up a new one over there. And, of course, North Liberty as well. I'll let you start today, Hassel.
All right. Top 3 games of the week. It's a pretty good weekend. It's a pretty good weekend for football. We have 2 good games here at home. I'm going to start with a game that I don't think it's going to be close, but it's
really interesting that you went with this game.
I'm just fascinated by it. Indiana just rolling. They're getting first place votes. They're number 2 in the country. They're at home. I think Big Noon Kickoff is there. And here comes UCLA. 3 straight wins, including that win over Penn State. But they followed that up with a great performance at Michigan State, and then they won at home last week on a late field goal against Maryland. Just the really good vibes that UCLA has. I want to see how they do in this kind of situation. I feel like that's a lot of points. Is it all going to come crashing down here? They're 3-1 in the Big Ten. I'm interested to see that game. I think that's a nooner. That's a big nooner on Fox.
That's a good pick. Yeah. I would have never picked that one. Good one.
I'm also going to pick kind of a no-brainer here, a top 15 matchup, but it's 2 teams that don't get the shine. Missouri, they were just kind of thrown into the SEC deal with Texas A&M back in the day, against Vanderbilt. Vandy is 10th in the country. They are a 2.5-point favorite. Diego Pavia just keeps winning.
All he does is win, no matter what.
The winner of this game is probably going to go to the playoff. Like, there's a really good chance that whoever gets out of there is going to the playoff.
Shouldn't one of these coaches be getting more looks?
Especially Clark Lee at Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
because I remember it was either 2 or 3 years ago at Media Day, and he stood up there and with a straight face said that he was going to make Vanderbilt the best football program in the country. With a straight face. He was dead serious. And he got blasted for it. Everybody's laughing. Well, now look at him. A top 10 Vanderbilt team and favored at home against the number 15 team in the country. Game day is there. And then I'm going with number 24 Illinois going out to Washington to face the Huskies. Because have you seen Illinois' remaining schedule? If Illinois wins this game, despite the fact that they got blown out by Ohio State and Indiana, they'll probably win out, go 10-2, and it's going to be hard to keep them out of the playoff, unfortunately. Because they've got nobody. They've got Rutgers, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Northwestern after this.
God.
If they win this game at Washington, they're going to go 10-2. And they're going to say, our only 2 losses. Yeah, we lost by 100, but our only 2 losses are against the top teams in the country.
What are your sources telling you about Wisconsin? Because I'm hearing it's not going to come open.
I don't have sources telling me anything other than it's kind of like Florida State. They need to raise more money to be able to make a move.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know how you don't make one. I mean, you are at Wisconsin. You're the worst team in the Big Ten by far.
Yeah. Stay tuned to my locks.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that Wisconsin going to Oregon is my in my top 3 games.
I'll give you my top 3. And shockingly, we don't have Ole Miss at Oklahoma on our list, but we color outside of the lines a little bit with our top 3. Upset alert.
Yes.
I've got LSU beating Texas A&M this weekend.
I do too.
Yeah, this screams upset to me. The spot, just everything about it for Texas A&M.
A&M is the only perfect team in the SEC. That's
and that
not
ain't
going to
gonna
last much longer.
Nope, this is a loss for Texas A&M. So fascinated to see how that plays out. Big Group of 5 game.
Yes.
My South Florida Bulls, Coach Golish, on the road at Memphis, who had just had its first loss of the year, but major playoff implications right here. South Florida wins this game, you're in like a dirty shirt, baby.
I got the numbers from Sportsline. The winner of this game will have about a 30% chance to make the playoff. That would be the highest chance of any G5 team. So the winner of this game is in the G5 driver's seat.
And then I went outside the box a little bit. Houston at Arizona State. So Arizona State gets the huge win last week against Texas Tech. Houston is like, man, if they win this game, right, is a 7.5-point favorite. If they win this game, it's like, God, like.
They'll be ranked.
Yeah. I mean, what a great turnaround for Willie Fritz. And, like, also for Arizona State, a little letdown spot, potentially. It is sold out from what I heard. So, but that really good game right there in the Big 12. But, yeah, we didn't even mention Ole Miss at Oklahoma. That's super interesting. A lot of good games.
What was Houston's win total to start the year?
Oh, they're already over it.
Was it 5.5?
I thought it was 5 or 4.5. Wow, something like that. Yeah, they've greatly outperformed. Let's dive right into our Wild Rose Casino locks.
Dropping them all over your face. You are just blazing. How many in a row have you hit?
He was 3-1 the week before and 4-0 last week. And I don't know about the week before that, but it was pretty dang good, I think.
Oregon minus 33.5 against Wisconsin. Come on. Come on. Like, they're coming off of a bye, coming off of a loss. Wisconsin's traveling 2 time zones to the west. They've been outscored 69-0 in the last 2 weeks.
And those are both at home.
I'm going to drop this lock all over your face. Oregon minus 33.5 at home against. I love that. They may cover that in the first half. This is easy money. This is a little bit like that Stanford game last week. I don't understand it. Like, come on. I'm going to do another big spread here, and I'm going to take Utah minus 13.5 at home against Colorado. Again, coming off of a loss. I just don't think Colorado's very good. I just saw them in person a couple of weeks ago. Utah can stop the run. They're elite up front on both sides. Really good quarterback. I just think that they're going to win this game by 20 points or more. That's the last game of the week, too, as far as I think it's like a 9:15.
Oh, that's the late nighter on Saturday.
Yeah, it's like Colorado's got to go west. No, actually they don't. My geography, it's the same time zone. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
Wait,
no,
it
they're
is
both
west, though.
Yeah,
They do go west.
Just a smidge west. Just a smidge.
little bit.
I still think Utah. I know they lost last week, but I still think that they are one of those elite teams in the Big 12, where Colorado, to me, is not even close to that. So I'm going to take this. Feels a lot like when Colorado went to TCU a few weeks ago. Dion, did you see? He's like doing the thing where the guys are. He's letting them scrimmage so they can put on tape so they can kick their ass out. Like, he's already kind of given up on the season.
What?
Did you see that? Yeah.
No.
He was getting like praised for it, but I think you could go the other way with it. Dion, during their bye week, had a taped scrimmage of the reserve players so that they could have tape to send out to other colleges for when he cuts them in the offseason.
I heard St. Louis beat him by 30 in that scrimmage.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Colorado, and I still think Utah's a really good team. The other one, I threw this one on late. By the way, I like the lines this week. These were harder for me to come up with than the last few weeks have been. I'm going to take.
You said you like the lines, but they were harder for you to come up with?
I like the lines, and I think they're really good lines.
The lines are good, but not good for us.
Yes. I think this is a scary week. I'm going to take Baylor plus 4.5 at Cincinnati. A little bit like our Texas A&M conversation. I respect Cincinnati. I think they have a good offense. They are ripe to get beat by somebody.
Yeah, Baylor can score with them.
Yes. And, to me, I'm going to pick the upset outright here. I think Baylor gets the job done at Cincinnati and kind of starts to make the Big 12 thing a little bit weird. I would say the same thing with Kansas State at Kansas this week in the Big 12. Kansas is like a 3-point favorite in that one. To me, that feels like Kansas State goes into Lawrence and maybe wins the thing.
Kansas State's been playing better than Kansas.
Yes. I think the wrong team's favored in that one. So there you go. My locks are Oregon minus 33.5 against Wisconsin. I'm going to take Utah to cover against Colorado. And then Baylor getting 4.5 at Cincinnati. I think that the Bears are going to win it outright.
All right, I'm not going to take too much time on mine because you're going to end up losing 3 of them by 1 point if you follow me. But I like Memphis' spot against South Florida. South Florida is the ranked team. Memphis coming off their first loss of the season, so people are doubting them. They're at home.
All the money's on Memphis. They're with you, buddy.
I think Memphis might win that outright, but give me the plus 3.5. Nebraska, I don't know what kind of state of mind they're in, but the team they're playing this weekend's feeling great. Northwestern is getting 7.5 at Nebraska. Northwestern has won 5 straight games. They were the last team to beat UCLA. Nobody's talking about them, but I like the Cats in Lincoln against the Huskers. Uh-oh. From the Cats to the Cocks. South Carolina sucks. Alabama's really good. Alabama's the second best team in the country, I think, behind Ohio State. Minus 11.5 at South Carolina. Right, how many points is South Carolina going to score in this game?
10.
Are they going to reach double figures?
Only if their defense does something special, because their offense sucks, and they supposedly have a first-round quarterback at their disposal.
Oh, boy.
He needs to get out of there, by the way. Beamer needs to just go and take Virginia Tech.
Makes sense.
I honestly,
he might be fired next year if he stays.
he's
He
got
has
to
another year
get
like
out
this.
before they get you out. If you can go and get that Virginia Tech job right now, you got to do it.
So Bama minus 11.5, and uh-oh.
Oh, God. Why are you doing this to us?
Oh, I'm locking the Cyclones at minus 2.5. I think Dom Orange is going to play. I think Connor Conradi is going to play.
Kyle Conradi.
What did I say?
Connor.
I did?
No, you said Kyle.
No,
Yeah,
you
come
said
on,
Connor.
Williams.
You called him Connor Conradi.
Wait, so you don't call me out when I do say the wrong name. You
thought you said
do
Connor.
call me out when I
the
don't say
tape.
the wrong name. Sorry.
My bad.
I think Iowa State wins by double digits at Jack Trice Stadium.
I'm not kidding. My phone was blowing up from odds makers. Friends of mine who do that. They are all hammering Iowa State this weekend. They are.
I love the play.
Yeah, that's the big play this weekend. It's going to be one of the biggest ones in the entire sport. Herky the Cat heard you say Connor too.
I don't think I said Connor. God damn it.
Yeah, we got everybody in the comments says you said Connor. You owe me an apology.
I said Kyle Conradi.
You said Connor Conradi. All right, Van Winkle, what do you got? Van Winkle's getting a little cocky with his picks.
Yeah,
Are you going to respect me now? A couple weeks ago, you're like, "Yeah, you got to get a couple more locks down."
This is what I would say.
3-1 last
week.
week.
It's easy to do this. Like, you're gonna get beat down eventually, and can you fight through it? Can you fight through the adversity, like Matt Campbell always tells us to? Matt, can you do it? Can you do it, son?
I love my first play.
Everybody's saying you said Connor. There's 15 people in the comments saying you said Connor.
I believe
for
Van
God's
Wilk.
sake.
Van Wilk wouldn't do me wrong.
You want to come give me some locks,
Oh,
Lindley?
get that
Let's go.
snot-nosed
Let's
kid
go.
out of there.
Lindley's gonna drop these locks all over your face.
Arkansas versus Auburn. Have you seen how many points Arkansas? Okay, so Arkansas's lost 5 in a row, but there's been so many points in that game. They've given up 41, 32, 56, 34, 45. They're going to put up points too. There's going to be a lot of points against Auburn. Give me the over 57.5.
Well, I love betting overs. That's always a good time.
Vanderbilt minus 2.5 versus Missouri. I like Vanderbilt in this home spot.
Shut that kid up, man.
We
We want to hear the analysis. Come on. We got to hear the analysis.
I like Vanderbilt here. I think they're at home. They're going to win by 10 points here.
I like that. I almost put that on mine.
Why is this Minnesota-Iowa line 9.5?
Wait, it's up to 9.5.
It was 8.5, and I think I last saw it at 9.5.
Are you skimming the books, Matt?
No.
Are
No.
you
Okay,
teasing points
This was
here?
last night. This was last night I put these together. But this is going to be a closer game than 9.5. Come on.
Man, if that
9.5.
thing gets to 10, I'll bet.
Are we going to allow Van Wilk to take 9.5, even though it's 8.5?
Well, let me,
I'm
you
going
want
to
me
take his word for it. I don't think Matt would lie.
Do you want me to see what it's at currently exactly? Let's see.
All these. You just go to the Action Networks deal, and it tells you the best
It's
line.
8.5 now. Okay, fine. 8.5. I'll take 8.5.
Whatever. It's a dead number anyways.
TCU minus 15.5 at West Virginia. West Virginia's terrible. I'm going to just
How
keep
bad is West Virginia?
They've quit.
anybody that plays West Virginia, just take it. Kind of like Wisconsin.
I just want
12-8 on the year. Let's go,
man. I kind of want Indiana to lose now because they signed what's his name to that huge buyout. And
Why?
I don't know. I just kind of want him to lose just to watch like how everybody thinks it's this genius contract, and then they're gonna be like, God damn it! Just watch
It's not a genius contract, but it's something you had to do.
Oh, I get it. I don't. But like, I remember Florida State fans not that long ago thought that they had this perfect situation with Mike Norvell.
Yeah, but Florida State's Florida State. Like this, Indiana has
You
never
had to
won
do it.
anything, and he is going to take them to back-to-back playoff appearances.
I hope that what would be fun is if he got into like a championship game and like a press conference with one of those stiff guys, and he could really run his mouth. I'd love to see him beat the shit out of Dabo, but the problem is Dabo's irrelevant now.
Yeah.
All right.
I've conceded, by the way. I've seen the 25 comments that said that it was Connor. And Duffy says that Connor McCaffrey just confirmed that it was I said Connor. Sorry.
We'll go long here in a minute, but first let's do our cheers to the freaking weekend with our friends over at Steeple Ridge.
Cheers to the freaking weekend. Let's raise our glass of Steeple Ridge bourbon.
Well, I'm going to Groner's game Friday night. The Cardinals are in the playoffs.
What's his real name?
Nolan.
I'm the one who gave him the name Groner.
Chris. Like everybody at Clarinda High School calls him Groner now.
Whoa!
Van Winkle's just taking pulls of bourbon over there.
Did you just plug that into your ass?
Don't waste it.
Sat on that
like ASMR right there.
If you did that, you'd just get hammered, right?
Did what? Sat on the cork?
If you put alcohol into your ass, like, doesn't that get you really drunk?
Like if you gave yourself a Steeple Ridge enema?
Yeah, no, I'm serious. Like, people will do that with, like, I'm not kidding. Look that up. Matt, can you Google that? You may want to do a VPN. I'm dead serious. Like, if you do that, you get it's called a butt chug. I'm serious. Guys do it all the time in college.
What do you mean they do it all the time? You've seen this happen?
Not in St. Ambrose, not in the situation you were in, but you go to some of the frat parties.
The priests were butt chugging?
It's called butt chugging. That's a real thing, and it actually gets you more hammered. It's kind of like putting tobacco in between your toes or whatever.
I mean, I know that because it gets into your bloodstream easier.
Yeah.
I saw Man vs. Wild once with Bear Grylls. Do you know Bear Grylls?
Yeah.
The outdoors guy.
He
did this
took
thing.
The elephant shit and squeezed it and drank the water out of it. That guy.
One time he was on like a raft in the middle of the ocean, and he was like, you can't drink the seawater. It's got salt in it. He said, but there's one thing you can do, and he somehow happened to have this like piece of plastic that was just there with him on this boat, and he rolled it up, shoved it in his ass, and dipped the other end in the water and gave himself a saltwater enema. And he said, it's okay. You can drink the water that way because the salt doesn't get into your stomach or whatever and dehydrate you. So if you're ever stranded at sea and you happen to have some kind of enema type device, you
have to like squirt it up there. Like, what if you had a paper towel? Could you soak
there
it in there?
It is. Matt found a video of it.
Oh my God!
Willing to do?
Don't get us kicked off. So the scene that always he was like dying of thirst.
Yeah,
in Africa, and he took this giant turd from an elephant, and he squeezed the water out of it and drank it.
I used to watch that show all the time.
I love that show.
When I would come back from working at Channel 13 and I get home like at midnight, my wife's asleep, I've got nothing to do.
That's what local TV, working on local TV will do to you.
Yeah, Discovery Channel, and it's Man vs. Wild every single night. And it's Bear Grylls just doing shit like that. One time he grabbed a fish with his bare hands out of the water. The fish is flopping around, and he just bit into its spine and snapped it in half. What?
All gas, no breakfast. Says, meanwhile, the cameramen are just drinking bottled water in the background.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the Naked and Afraid?
I never watched that. That made me a little bit too uncomfortable.
Oh my! Well, it was fun. Ashley and I actually watched it religiously for like 3 years. We had it on DVR and we watched that show, and it was funny because like the first year, you had like normal looking people, just outdoors people. The second year was like they got a little bit better looking, and by the third year, like you're getting like full ass shots of these. Like really good looking women.
Oh, really? They weren't it was completely emaciated?
They were just completely casting like the sexual aspect of this show, in our opinion.
Well, because the show started and somebody was probably like, you know what? I want to be on that show. And so they get in really good shape and apply to get on the show. And then they let
that's
them
a
in.
good point.
But I'm thinking of like Survivor, those disgusting people on Survivor that they're out there for weeks on end, and they're just completely disgustingly emaciated.
Well, anyways, go out and buy a bottle of sweet already.
Hey, let me give a cheers to my wife. It's her birthday tonight.
Hey,
she's watching
Mallory.
the kids while we do the show. So
Tell her my dad said happy birthday.
I was going to say.
I will. Personal greetings from Dawn.
By the way, Dawn.
Yeah?
I had one of my locks that Dawn talked me out of today.
You're saying his name like it's a woman's name, like Dawn. Dawn.
When you look at the NFL lines, a 1-5 team is a 6.5 point favorite over a 4-2 team.
Yes.
And I had the Ravens.
But Lamar Jackson's back at practice.
I had the Ravens as one of my locks, and Dawn probably sent us 30 texts today about
he said he had inside information from listening to the Score radio out of Chicago that Jackson wasn't going to play. And then, of course, he returns to practice.
So, Don, I'm with you, buddy. You talked me out of it, so I threw Baylor in there instead. So, anyways, I'm going. I really am. I'm going back to watch my nieces play volleyball tomorrow night, and then I'm going to watch Groner and the boys Friday night. Driving back, covering the game Saturday, and then I'm going to do the trick or treating with the kids Saturday night. Hopefully, I can get all my work done.
Wait, do you do the trick or treating at the RV Village?
No, I'm not doing the RV Village this week.
No RV Village?
No, I haven't missed one. Really, I don't think ever.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to prep for that Festival of Meats. So you need a week off.
Dude, I mean, the Meat Fest is a hassle. I'll pay for half your flight if you come back.
Have you ever given yourself a meat enema?
If you're ever going to do it, it would be at the Festival of Meats.
Spare rib up there.
Got my, I am going to be a pirate for Halloween and decided that.
Wearing a puffy shirt?
I did. I bought a puffy shirt. Gets in the mail tomorrow. What about you? What are you doing all weekend?
Well,
what is your wife making you?
My
oh my
wife
God,
is-
you have 8 minutes to go. Oh my God, oh my God.
It's not a hard out. My wife is leaving me again. She's going to Chicago to visit her cousin. And so I will be able to smoke cigars on 3 consecutive nights if I want to. all gas, no breakfast, says filet mignonus. But we are trying to decide what we're going to do next Friday. How are we going to handle this? It's Halloween. We're not going to be where we don't want to be here.
Well, you have that no soliciting sign.
When the trick. Oh, does that stop kids? You think?
No, but you could just put another one. Kelderman will make you one that just says "Get the f out of my yard."
No trick or treaters. We might need that because we would love to be able to just leave, but we can't leave our dog at home.
You could just come to the Festival of Meats.
I'm not coming to that Festival of Meats.
Why don't you just do what I do? Go to a dive bar for like 4 hours.
I told you because we don't want to leave our dog at home.
Go to Outback.
Oh, she'll be fine.
Oh, it could be another Outback weekend
there
for
you
me. Could be.
Feels like another Arby's night. Well, good for you. You're going to be doing the live betting. This is great. I got Hasselback.
Oh, I'm back, baby.
Yeah, Maddie, any big plans for the weekend for you?
Not really. Got homecoming this weekend for Iowa State. Be at the game.
What does that exactly mean? I've always wondered that because you always, I know, are super busy with homecoming. I'm an alum.
Yeah, what's homecoming for?
I've
college?
never experienced anything that has to do with homecoming. So what does that mean to you?
Yeah, there's a homecoming committee at Iowa State. It's a bunch of kids that organize. It's more of a student thing, Chris. I mean, they do invite alumni back there's a Friday event at the Alumni Center where I work. So there's a big pep rally and it's a very traditional thing, right? It used to be a lot bigger back in the 60s, 70s,
And
80s.
The frats have more to do with it too, right?
Yeah, the frats, they earn points throughout the week for doing events and in games and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a cool event. We have a good time. But
yeah, I know the people who do that stuff.
And now
like
athletics athletics is kind of tied in their Hall of Fame weekend. So AJ Klein will be back getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. So it should be a cool weekend.
It's time
you
to
let me go long real quick?
Yeah.
I gotta get
I
something
also
off my
noticed
chest.
you're wearing the Giants.
Tony V, we got a new manager.
So you got you poached a college program?
Yes. The Tennessee head coach that just won the College World Series. Thank you very much. So.
Oh well,
It's
we all know the manager doesn't really mean anything in baseball anymore.
I mean, Buster Posey's our new general manager. In his second year, so this is his
He's
first
not
big
playing
hire.
anymore.
No. He retired about 3 years ago. So
well, let's go along with our friends from Wealth Charter. How about that?
It's time to go long with Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Has been all over us needing to go long. He's got something to get off of his chest. Go for it, buddy.
So I'm watching the ALCS the other night. Game 7.
Yeah.
It's the top of the 9th inning. 1 out. What does Fox do?
Who's that gal?
That's Jennifer Garner, the Capital One spokesperson. Fox plays a stupid in-game ad. Top of the 9th inning. This drama's building in Toronto. It's a 1-run game. A home run could tie it. And they play one of these in-game ads. You guys have seen these. These have been in golf. They're NASCAR.
Yeah,
They're all over. I get what these in-game ads are.
You got to pick your time and your spot, right?
Why are we putting them in the 9th inning? I get that Capital One probably paid a boatload of money for this.
It almost makes you resent the company.
Were they thinking that they could squeeze it in between pitches?
It was after an at-bat. Yeah, it was after an out. I don't know. It was a 15-second commercial. But what are we doing with the I get it. I get what this is all about. But it's like, at some point, baseball, that was a terrible look for baseball.
Yeah,
Come on.
at that point in the game, that.
Like
you're right. That's
incredible drama.
And I'm
don't
sure
leave the game.
I'm sure they got killed for it, and maybe we'll second guess it.
Probably.
And I don't think Capital One is going to make out for it either. I mean, they're getting a lot of free publicity, but people are pissed.
A couple of things in the comments, because I was going to make this point. Like, Fox does this with its NASCAR coverage.
How does Fox do this?
Well, but it's usually like in the middle of like a long green flag run, and it's like a side-by-side thing. So instead of going to a commercial, it's like you can still watch the race while the commercials are playing.
And that's what this was.
Yeah, but like they don't do it on the last 5 laps.
Right. Stay out of that.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot in golf, and it's fine. You can still follow it, but you rarely do they do it, if it's Scotty Scheffler who has a big shot coming up, they are going to show that shot full. That's not going to happen during one of these commercial breaks. They call it playing through.
And now on like Amazon, or your streaming games on Amazon Prime, they're putting like advertisements on the stream too. It's like an ad pops up, click to buy this thing, and they'll do those during the game too. I saw it on Peacock too.
Yeah, it's a weird deal though, because nobody watches commercial breaks or listens to commercial breaks, so they're trying to get creative.
But that's the thing.
You got to be smart.
The one place that they do watch it is during sporting events.
Yeah.
Because it's a live event, and you might leave the room or tune out a little bit.
Yeah.
But compared to anything else that's on TV, sporting events are the one place you actually are going to get a lot of people taking in your commercials.
Maybe Wealth Charter can help them out, give them some advice.
Well, if they would just listen to our guy Tim, they could invest a lot of that money, and they wouldn't have to put these garbage spots on the top of the 9th inning.
You always need more money, though.
Van Winkle is pissed, and I like it. He was so mad, fired up, texting us the other night, wanting to go off on this. Good job, buddy. That's a good take. Well, we appreciate all of you. We got to get Hassel. Hassel has 1 minute to get to his wife.
No, huh? We're finishing up right now. Just skip the intro. It's fine. I'm kidding.
See?
She's not saying anything.
You're a good actor, buddy. All right, so it's going to be a crazy weekend.
Ooh,
A&M's going down. Cincinnati's going down. BYU's going down. A lot of upsets coming.
Minnesota's going down, and we'll have instant Iowa. Actually, one of the earliest instant Iowas we've had all season.
Be a reasonable time.
A reasonable time. I might even wait to order my Outback until after the instant Iowa.
He is Chris Hassel. My name is Chris Williams.
Hey, wait. Answer this for me. We got a rule on this. The three of us. best name in the chat. Is it Circle Herc, Taint Candy,
good one,
or Cuck Norris?
What about Turd Ferguson? Can we give him a shout out?
I mean, you could Turd Ferguson. I'm
wow,
sorry.
Cuck Norris is that might be the winner.
Cuck Norris is king for me.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm a huge Taint Candy guy.
And Circle Herc is clever.
And we've met All Gas, No Breakfast. Good dude. So.
Oh yeah. Now we can put a face with that guy's name. I would like to know what Cuck Norris looks like.
Yeah, I'm a little more fond of Taint Candy. All right, guys. Everybody have an awesome weekend. Enjoy the games. Appreciate you tuning in. Go out and load up at your local Fareway stores, and we'll be back on Monday. Of course, Keith and Andy will be back on Friday. Legends and Listeners will be live. Not live, but their show will be up tomorrow here on Iowa Everywhere. Later.